Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back once again. Today's story takes us to a time when money, power, and luxury meant nothing. A time when people weren't fighting for wealth, but for life itself. Because in this world, the only thing more valuable than gold was survival. Our story begins on a cold, gloomy day. A bus full of frightened passengers is on its way to a place called Harmony Town. Their faces say it all: fear, loss, and exhaustion. No one knows what awaits them ahead, but everyone knows one thing: the world outside is no longer safe. Two armed soldiers are escorting the passengers, ensuring their safety. But suddenly the bus stops in the middle of the deserted road. Everyone freezes. One soldier steps out to check what's wrong. Minutes pass and the silence becomes terrifying. He doesn't return, so the second soldier steps out to find him. But before he can even react, the first soldier, now infected, jumps at him and bites him viciously. And that's when it becomes clear. A deadly virus has spread across the planet. Most of humanity has turned into flesh-eating infected creatures. The infection reaches the bus. Chaos breaks out. Two friends, Jack and Patrick, somehow manage to throw the infected man out and lock the doors. But they know they're not safe for long. Jack goes out to grab a fallen soldier's gun, but the soldier suddenly wakes up and attacks. In a panic, Jack shoots him multiple times, killing him. But the sound of gunfire echoes through the cold silence, attracting more danger. Inside the bus, fear turns to madness. People start climbing over each other, desperate to escape. Screams, blood, and panic fill the air, death everywhere. In the chaos, Patrick's wife Emma takes their little daughter Nolan and hides in a nearby car. But an infected breaks in. Just as Emma is about to die, Jack arrives and saves Nolan. But Emma has already been bitten. Tears in her eyes, she begs Jack to kill her before she turns. The screen fades, and the story jumps 14 years later. The world has now frozen into a never-ending ice age. Snow blankets everything: cities, forests, even memories. We see Patrick, older and tired, hunting for food. He drags a dead horse back home through the snow. His neighbor Jack still lives close by, and Patrick's daughter Nolan now spends most of her time with Jack, believing he's her father. But Jack keeps her away from Patrick. Why? Because Patrick has changed. He's quiet, broken, and lost in his own loneliness. Every night he drinks to forget, and talks endlessly to voices on a dead radio. He watches his daughter from a distance, but can't gather the courage to talk to her. Jack, on the other hand, takes care of Nolan like his own child, teaches her manners, cooks with her, and keeps her safe. He even gives her a birthday gift, a small box containing her mother's belongings he had saved all these years. It brings tears to Nolan's eyes. That night, she hears a familiar tune, the same melody her mother used to hum. Patrick is playing it, alone in his cabin. He even baked a small cake for her, but instead of giving it, he feeds it to his dog, and goes to bed in silence. Later that night, Nolan wakes up from a nightmare. In her dream, she saw something staring through the window. A figure, cold, pale, and still alive. She hides under her bed, trembling. The next morning, Jack finds her missing, only to see her hiding. She tells him she saw a monster outside. Jack denies it, saying all the infected have died from the cold. But she asks the one question that silences him. Then why do we keep the doors locked, Jack? Jack doesn't answer, because deep down he knows the nightmare isn't over yet. One day, while Nolan plays with Patrick's dog, Jack rushes out angrily, warning her to stay away from Patrick and the dog. Confused, Nolan can't understand his reaction. Patrick, hurt but silent, walks away. Later, Patrick goes scavenging for supplies. Inside a ruined store, he spots movement, an infected devouring something. He backs away quietly, but the creature senses his scent. A deadly chase begins through the snow. Patrick speeds through the white storm on his snowmobile, but crashes into a tree and is knocked out cold. Jack, watching from afar, doesn't move. An infected approaches Patrick, bites his neck. Just then, Patrick's loyal dog leaps at the monster, saving his master, but gets killed in the process. Patrick, wounded and broken, shoots the infected dead. He drags himself home, bleeding, haunted by memories of his wife. He tries to pull the trigger on himself, but can't. Nolan is furious at Jack for not shooting to save the dog. Her only friend is gone. Meanwhile, Patrick speaks to a stranger over radio, revealing he's been bitten and may not survive. The stranger asks, "Didn't anyone try to help you?" Patrick replies softly, "He was my friend, but he didn't shoot." The next morning, Jack seals his windows tighter, afraid Patrick will turn. But when he looks outside, Patrick seems perfectly fine. No infection, no signs of sickness. Then Nolan insists on going outside for flowers. Reluctantly, Jack agrees and finds an abandoned house. Inside, a couple had taken their own lives. He spots a flower pot, takes it, and returns home. Nolan places the flowers near her mother's picture, and another bouquet on the dog's grave. But suddenly, an infected attacks her. Jack throws himself in front, fighting the monster brutally. He gets slashed but not bitten, just when it seems hopeless. A gunshot echoes. Patrick appears and shoots the infected dead. He saved them both. That night, Nolan secretly invites Patrick for dinner through the radio. Jack hesitates, but finally agrees. Patrick arrives, cleaner, calmer, looking human again. They share dinner together. Patrick tells Nolan stories about the old world. And for a moment, the house feels warm again. The next day, they find a lone woman named Mia, terrified and cold. Patrick brings her home. She reveals how her family was killed by the infected, and how her brother turned after being bitten, forcing her to end his life herself. Her story brings tears to Nolan's eyes. But the nightmare returns. Monsters surround the house. Gunshots echo. And Patrick realizes that a headshot kills them instantly. Yet the noise attracts even more infected. They barricade the doors. Mia turns on the old music system. The loud sound hurts the monster's ears, forcing them to back off. But one of them finds the basement, where Nolan is hiding. Patrick rushes in, fights it off, and kills it. But the generator runs out of fuel, cutting off the music. The monsters start returning. Just then, Nolan hears a voice on the radio. Springfall is safe. If anyone is alive, come now. Jack decides they must leave immediately. Patrick volunteers to distract the monsters while the others escape. He tells them, "Don't start the truck until I'm there." He runs into the storm, drawing the infected away. But he trips over fuel barrels. Surrounded now, he knows it's over. Patrick smiles faintly and shoots the barrel. A massive explosion lights up the frozen sky. Patrick is gone. Jack and Nolan drive away in silence. Tears roll down her cheeks. But she knows. Her father became a hero. Because sometimes it takes a broken man to show the true meaning of love. A heartbreaking story of sacrifice, loneliness, and hope. But now 2 questions remain for you. 1. Why didn't Patrick turn into an infected after being bitten? 2. Where will Jack, Nolan, and Mia go next? Tell me your theories in the comments below. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe for more amazing stories, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.